Hey there, you beautiful badass. Welcome to the Carrie Croft Show. I'm your host, Carrie Croft, delivering you stories that get you pumped up and feeling like the unstoppable savage that you are. So grab your coffee, put on your game face, and let's do this thing, baby. Struggling to hit those big company goals you set last year? Well, Q1 is almost over. Are you making real progress or just telling yourself you still have time? Varsity Laurel Consulting helps leaders gain clarity and get shift done. That's SHIFT. Whether you need to refine your vision, align your team, or bring your organization's values to life, they've got you covered. And yeah, you've heard her name before. She was on the show a few months ago and we talked about confidence, vulnerability, and reaching big goals. Well, now it's your turn. Now through March 14th, they're offering 3 powerful experiences designed to bring clarity, alignment, and momentum to your organization at the best value yet. So stop feeling stuck and start making moves. Visit varsitylaurel.com to learn more and book a convo today. Ready to elevate your self-care game? Boss Gal Beauty Bar is a modern med spa offering everything from cosmetic injectables, lasers and microneedling, to medical-grade facials and skincare. Conveniently located in Clintonville, Grandview, Powell, and Easton, making self-care a priority has never been easier. Use code CROFT for $25 off your first visit. Let's get real here. Aging isn't always cute. Wrinkles, things sagging where they didn't before. Do I hate my partner or is this perimenopause? I've been there. And that's why I'm all about Donaldson. From plastic surgery to aesthetics to functional medicine, they help you love your body and get to know it better. Want to feel like yourself again? Head to donaldsonhealth.com. And if you're a first-time client, mention the Carrie Croft Show for $100 off your first treatment. You're welcome. You want to do it? You want to roll with that? It's okay if you're feeling that, if you're feeling the headphones.
I can't decide.
Here, I'm going to show you what you look like.
Okay, I can't do it.
Okay.
I can't do it. Can't do it. Cherry unpopped.
Lauren Betterton.
That's right.
That's right. Welcome to the Carrie Croft Show.
Thank you.
I will say your hair and that lighting, I mean, you're looking like a queen.
Thank you. That feels good.
Okay, so let's tee this up, how you and I came to be sitting in these seats together. I put out something about, hey, let's get on the Calendly if you're looking to start something, because 2025 is where I'm trying to set the table. I want people in this universe to be drawn to me like a magnet. So like whether you're trying to start your family building, whether you're trying to start a business, or whether you're trying to start something internally, like your inner badass. I want to be like a magnet for those peeps.
Yeah.
So you, and I'll let you take it from here, but you saw that.
Yep.
And you signed up.
Yep.
And then what?
I said I'm in. Kind of starting things is my whole life right now. And so it felt like the perfect chance to be like, yeah, let's talk about starting a business, which is what I'm in the middle of. And starting a business also unlocks like starting all the new things in your life. I feel like it's not just one thing, it's everything right now. And so I'm here to talk to you about starting a business specifically catered to dogs and their people.
And so what you put in the beginning of your intake form, when I asked you about starting, and you were saying how you can't do things alone, you had put a whole paragraph around community and support system and making sure that you ask for help. Was that part of you reaching out, being like, you know what, here's this random offering
100%.
for a pep talk from this crazy woman.
I love pep talk.
And I'm gonna do that.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm an Oprah kid. Like I grew up watching Oprah as a child. And I'm sure she probably stole this from someone, or maybe not, if Oprah's listening. She has this thing where she's like, if the universe wants to learn a lesson, it like tosses a pebble. And then if you don't pay attention, it kind of like gets a bigger rock. And then eventually it's like brick upside the head. And so the brick upside the head lesson that the universe wants me to learn is like, ask for help. Like people want to help you. And so this did feel like the perfect opportunity of like, hey, you're trying to build this thing and you are trying to start something. Here is the universe saying, hey, do you want to talk to someone whose whole thing is starting things? Take this. You should do that.
It's a great point. I grew up in the sales world. So my first job out of college was selling IT services to companies. So I've always asked for things, because when you're a salesperson, and every salesperson out there is going to shake their head like, oh, yeah, you're right. You have to Go into offices, call people, cold call, and literally it's the most vulnerable, horrible thing. Like it's up there with public speaking. And so I built that muscle early on in my career. So I know how. I'm actually very good at asking for things the right way and the right time. And that's something I take for granted now that you mention it. Because you have all these people out there who don't have a sales brain, who are creatives, who are masterminds in their own way, but asking for help. Oh my God, how cringy.
Right. Of like, oh my God, I could never. Like, I don't want to put you out. Like, please don't worry about it. Like my current example. So at our business, we have like, it's like a half acre that this business sits on. And we have 10,000 square feet of turf. It's beautiful. I don't know if you've noticed the weather this week has just been such a delight, such a joy for the listener. It's currently 15 degrees outside. And so we had this like the snow on Sunday and then the snow froze. And so all of our turf had like an inch of ice on it. It was like 6 hours over 3 days of like trying to get all the ice off of the turf. And so we were posting about it on our Instagram story. And one of our beloved members messaged and was like, hey, do you need help? Like I can come help you scrape ice off the turf. And I literally was brought back to this of like asking for help. And I was like, it had never occurred to me to ask anyone of like, hey, could anyone help us like clear all this ice off? And people want to help you. Like we're in community. People want to help each other. Sometimes you just have to ask, or at least like give people the opportunity to say, hey, do you need help? Because people want to help. I want to help.
That's point number one from this, the takeaway from this show is asking for help. Use your intuition. Use your street smarts. Don't just go asking everyone for help every day, all the time.
Yeah, don't abuse it.
So that's the thing, though. It's like there is an art to the ask for help as well. So I'm not saying to this newbie out there, this baby entrepreneur, it's like go ask every Tom, Dick, and Harry for help. Use that card when you need it.
And be relationship based.
Oh,
like,
for sure, yeah.
Even today, it's not like I hunted you down on the street and be like, hi, can I come talk? Like, no, like build a relationship. If it's authentic, people want to help and use it.
And I will say too, like getting on my Calendly, this is just a PSA for some of you motherfuckers out there that need a little help. Getting on my Calendly and doing a little Zoom and getting some FaceTime isn't a bad way. Now, I'm not automatically going to be like, hey, everybody come on the show. It has to be, there has to be a fit.
Do you have a pulse?
Yeah, like, so, okay, so we're not going to go straight into this Bumble's backyard dog park and bar that you have. So many great things about this business idea, but we're going to get there. So I asked you to describe yourself and how would other people describe you? Give me a couple of the words.
Horrible baker. I am the first person to volunteer to cook for you if you're sick. I am a very hard worker. I'm a recovering perfectionist and also a recovering people pleaser. I love food and coffee, and I love Columbus very much. I feel like I'm an encyclopedia of Columbus knowledge. But I'm also a Southerner. It's like a Southerner Midwest nice. Like it's all just kind of blending inside of me.
So you also mentioned that your upbringing wasn't exactly all, roses and
it was not roses nor daisies.
No, a lot of fucking wildflowers and weeds in that motherfucker. Okay. So you said something about you grew up with a single mom, super chaotic, had some issues.
Yep.
Do you think that relationship with your mom is what sprouted the perfectionist and the people pleasing?
100%.
What did that look like?
Yeah. So I grew up single mom household. I was definitely in charge of like the emotions of the house. And so if I was perfect and straight laced, and everything like happened exactly as it was supposed to, everything was fine. Like I kind of like managed everything with my behavior. So as a result, I was really rewarded for that. Like my brain was like, hey, when you act this way, like everything stays a little more together than it would otherwise. And it took me, 15-ish years to start identifying that in myself and say like, hey, you don't have to be this way in order for people to love you, in order for things to go well, in order for your life to be not chaotic. Like you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to be vulnerable. You're allowed to ask for help. It doesn't all just have to sit on your shoulders, but it was definitely, I was the adult of the house from the age of, 6 years old.
How does that track now with your mom?
It doesn't track with her anymore. We have not had a relationship for the last 5 years or so, and that has been it's really weird for people to like, what do you mean you don't talk to your mom? Or like, what do you mean you don't have a relationship with her? It is like the best gift that I could have given myself was to say like, no, we're done with this. We're drawing this boundary. And you know, I feel like there's a growing number of people who have that kind of relationship with their parents. So it's less hard for people to kind of look at you like you have 3 heads and be like, okay, you're crazy then. You must be insane. It's like, no, this is like truly the best thing that I could do for myself. And I have so many other people in my life who are parents to me that this one, you know, did not make the cut, and that's okay.
In today's age of social media and the access to so much information, I have noticed a lot more conversation around boundaries with family. No matter who's in your life, I don't care what, like, take all their title off, whether it's dad, mom, best friend, like remove titles and just look at behavior and energy exchange and how things make you feel. You have to create boundaries and remove toxicity. And if it just so happens that the title of that person is mom, dad, best friend, whatever, it's your responsibility.
It's your life. You get to decide like how that person plays into it.
Hey, Maria Milligan here with RE/MAX Premier Choice. Being a realtor here means being part of a community. I'm more than just a business card. I'm someone you'll see around town. I build trust with my clients because I care about this community and the people in it. Ready to take that next step? Let's do it together. Text me at 614-314-1355.
Who says you need a special occasion to feel like a celeb? I mean, stress is real. Life is busy. And your scalp? Yeah, it deserves some love too. That's where Headspace by Mia Santiago comes in. Treat yourself or someone who deserves it to a luxurious scalp treatment and a killer blowout or cut, because nothing says main character energy, honey, like a fresh style from celebrity stylist Mia and her team. And because we love a good deal, mention the Carrie Croft Show and get 20% off your service or any gift card for somebody in your life that you love. Headspace by Mia Santiago, because great hair days shouldn't be rare. And so you are married to the one, let's just say what you said on your intake form, your beloved.
My beloved.
I mean, Evan,
My
God,
beloved.
love you out
Yeah.
there. I fell in love with you after this intake form, honey. Look out. Keep him behind closed doors. You meet Evan when you're 16,
16.
a little baby.
Just a child.
He has provided you with sort of this family unit that is safe. I can just tell that you're just gushing out every orifice for this man.
Yeah. I'm big fan.
That could have. Hold on a minute. Can we rewind? Where did I come up with gushing
Orifice.
out of every orifice? What's an orifice? Let's look that up real quick. What orifice? An opening as of a pipe or tube.
Oh, God.
Or one in the body. Oh, shit.
I feel like it's
such
worse
as a
now that we
nostril
know.
or the anus.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's worse. It's worse now that we know the definition.
So this man. I say all this to say he's very special.
He is very special.
And he also came from a tumultuous. Do you think, looking back, did that kind of attract you guys to where you're like, okay, everything's crazy, let's be safe together?
Totally. We were both really developed by the environments that we were in and had this desire to be like, we don't want any part of this. Like, we don't want to ever be in this like situation in our lives. And like, we're just kind of making it right now. And so it was definitely a how-to guide of like what not to do. So I think we were both really driven by that and forged by that. And so that really helped us kind of like be immediately stable of like, we don't yell. We don't call each other names. We don't like manipulate each other and mess with each other's emotions. And for that, I think that's also very powerful when you're 16 to be like, wow, this person is like checking every box of something that I would be looking for, like in a partner. It's just insane that it was at 16 years old.
But there have to be things from both of you that have been like, they die hard. What are those things? There have to be some things where you're like, okay, I'm still working on this, or this is a trigger.
Yep. Fighting. It's like, how are you supposed to fight without like yelling each other tearing each other apart and being like, and 6 months ago, you. So that has been the thing for me personally that I'm like, okay, you got to work on this. And like, not everything is a fight. Like, not everything, he did not do this to slight you, you know, of like, don't take something so personally. Like, he's just a person and you're just a person. I think that has been the biggest thing for me. And especially when we first got married, I was afraid to fight because I was like, oh, if we fight, we're getting a divorce. Obviously, like, that's what marriage is. And so it was like, okay, I've got to bottle all this up and like, I can't say anything. And like, we don't fight. And then now it has become this like, hey, if you have a feeling or if you have a thought, like, just say it. And like, they probably want to talk to you about it. Kind of like this going back to asking for help. Like, he's never trying to be an asshole. Like, he's never waking up in the morning being like, today I'm just going to piss Lauren off all day long. And so learning the language of like, how do you say when something's upsetting you? And when he asks, hey, you seem a little off. Is everything okay? Saying, no, I'm not okay. That's an okay answer. Like, that's appropriate. I think that communication has been the biggest thing to like unlearn and learn for me personally.
Because it is okay to fight.
It is totally okay to fight.
I am not an expert, but I will say this. You got to fight fair. So like name calling and, you know, all these things. Like, if you are just openly saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm irked. This bugged me. You're going to have your tones are probably going to be raised a little bit. A little good old fashioned argument between lovers,
beloved.
Because, you know, there is this thing called makeup sex where you get into each other's orifices later on. Okay, there is a positive,
tubes.
Also known as
Openings.
there's a positive to the fighting. Okay, whenever I hear somebody say they don't fight, in my head I'm thinking,
Red flag.
you don't fucking fight.
Yep.
Really, somebody is suppressing, and you know what happens when you suppress, y'all?
Yep.
That thing's gonna blow.
Yep. And that builds your relationship.
Yes.
Like, you're not meant to be 100% in alignment all the time. Like, you are two people coming into this relationship. You both get your own opinions, ideas, beliefs, values. Like, all of that is in tension with each other. Like, work on each other.
You guys are not only lovers,
That's right.
married, but now you are also working on a business together. Which,
business partners.
Talk about like, it's amazing, but it also adds complexity because you're doing everything all the time. So let's talk about Bumble's backyard, shall we?
Do it.
And how
Let's talk about it.
how this little doggy park bar community popped up.
This was a COVID idea. The backstory is whenever dog parks were closing, things were freaking weird around COVID. We were like, we really miss people. And Bumble was 100% our lifeline of like, we take him for a walk and like, he's this little sidekick for us. Like, he was such an anchor for us during COVID. We live in Italian Village, shout out to Italian Village, and have this like very weirdly great backyard for Italian Village, fully fenced in, kind of like perfect for dogs. And so what we would do on Wednesdays, this was back when Polly G's had 3 for $30. I think it was Wednesday nights, we would order Polly G's takeout and we would bring it to our home. And we had this like list of people who had dogs in our like friend circle. And we would invite over a friend and their dog and we would eat pizza, drink beer, and the dogs would play. We called this Backyard Hangs. It was a standing Google Calendar placeholder, therefore making it the most important thing in this world if it has a Google Calendar event. And it was the best. And it was like such a reminder of how much community meant to us. We are crazy dog people. So it was so great that like we got to hang out with another dog, that Bumble got a friend to play with because he wasn't getting to play like he normally would either. And it was just like, wow, like we are really appreciative of this community that we've built and like that we're continuing to enjoy during this time. And then we just kept talking about like, this is so great. Like, we so enjoy this. And so then we started questioning like, okay, what are we loving about this so much? Like, it's basically this kind of like little mini dog park with this like curated collection of people. We also have really good taste in beer, so there's always really good drinks around. But it was just like, why are we loving this so much? Then we reflected on, okay, well, the dog park is closed. Like, we're missing out on that community aspect from the dog park, and like all of our favorite restaurants and breweries are also like takeout only. And it was just this kind of percolating of what are we missing? Why are we liking this so much? And that's kind of when we got into, well, what if we built a place that was all about the dogs and all about the people? And it was a place where these relationships could really bloom and this community could really grow. we just kept chirping about it for, 6 months until finally it was like, well, we either need to like do something about it or stop talking about this because we're kind of annoying ourselves at this point. Over the course of 4 years, it was, okay, what would this look like? And where would this be? And like, what are we trying to achieve through this? And we kind of kept it to ourselves. And then like when we put the first like ask out to someone of like, what do you think about this? They were like, oh my God, that sounds incredible. And it's like, okay. That also built a little accountability because now people are asking like, hey, how's that going? Like, what's the scoop on this? Any updates? And so it took us a really long time to find property. Finally found property. And because the universe has a sense of humor, it was an operating ice cream shop. And so we ran an ice cream shop while we were waiting for all of our construction to happen. And so then we started our construction in August of last year. Opened in October, and now we're just like grooving since then. And there's a lot in the middle there, but that's the highlight.
So you are so excited for spring.
I could not be more excited for weather that is 50 plus degrees. It's just going to be gorgeous.
Where is this dog park? I know it's South Franklinton, but where is it exactly?
So if you know where Green Lawn Cemetery is, we are the first block south of Green Lawn Cemetery.
And people can buy memberships and all of that jazz.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have a day pass. So if you just want to come hang out and the membership follows the dog, humans are free, dogs pay the cover. Or you can buy a month pass or an annual pass with us if you just want to hang out all the time.
So you also do something with The Ohio State University.
The
Keenan Center for Entrepreneurship, which I need to be involved in this.
Fangirling.
Where are these students? I need to
oh my God,
get with them and just, I don't even know what. We need to learn from one another.
Yes. And that has been such a gift for me to be working with students who are trying to build something because, again, in starting, I don't know where these students came from. They have a different work ethic than when I was in their shoes, when I was 19, because they're just like, oh, I see this problem in the world and I'm going to solve it. And I was like, I was just glad I made it to class on time. That you are different than me. But they are so passionate about solving problems, making the world a better place. If you ever lose faith in humanity, like hang out with students who are trying to build something for a little bit, and that humanity will probably be restored. But I work with lots of different students, lots of different people who are in the building stage of, if it's building their own bakery or wanting to start a platform that connects people in some way for some product or service, people who are like making drone companies, and it's just really fun to be in that like creative environment with students.
I need to get some of these boogers on my show.
You do.
But your real love is Bumble's Backyard. Community is very important to you.
Yeah.
And that's what you're building here. And so let's talk a little bit, because it is a huge differentiator.
I feel like a normal dog park, it feels very transactional of like, I go, I stand around, I leave. Where Bumble's Backyard, we really designed it to stay. Like, we have comfortable seating. We have right now a heated tent with TVs and a board game cabinet. And we have this great drink selection. And we really built this as ideal for you and your dog. And we have really attracted dog people who either, they love their dog or they love being around dogs. My favorite is we had these two younger gals show up one day without a dog. And I was like, oh, you can just head on in. And I grabbed one of my team and I was like, hey, just, like they don't have a dog, but, make sure that they like feel very welcome, whatever. And as they were leaving, I was like, oh, have a great day, whatever. Staff comes up to me and they said, do you want to know how they learned about us? And I said, of course. And they woke up that morning and Googled where to pet dogs, Columbus, Ohio. They just wanted to come be around some dogs and hang out with dogs for the day. And I was like, love that energy. But I think the biggest compliment that I could possibly get is I was working one day and I was outside in the yard, and these two people were talking to each other and they were just having like a great time. And one of them says, I would love to get your number. Like, we should totally like get dinner sometime. And I was like, bingo, we've done it. Like, that is a relationship that would not have formed without us, like without this community aspect. And that has just been so great to have regulars and for them to know each other. And it feels like our backyard during COVID of like, kind of like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Everyone's excited to see you. Everyone loves your dog. And I think in 2025, we are craving community. We are craving being together and getting to know people and having deeper relationships, having a relationship that's not just on the internet. And I think that we're really creating that third space to build that for people.
What's the best thing about working with your beloved?
I think it is that we have our own, language. And I know exactly what he's going to say before he says it most of the time. He surprises me sometimes. And we just know each other and understand each other so well that if we fight, I know it's important to be like, okay, this is something that we're going to figure out because we're coming at, I know exactly where we're coming from. But I just love that I get to work with someone who knows me so deeply and so well and cares about me so much, that we truly only want what's best for each other. And that is just such a gift.
What's the most annoying thing about working with your beloved?
Oh my God.
Dig deep, Lauren, because I know,
well, there's a lot. I mean, he is a person. He is annoying sometimes.
Yeah,
but
I need to meet this angel walking too close to the ground.
He is an angel. And he is the mayor of every town he ever goes to, ever. And when we are trying to leave, because sometimes we do leave, this man has to be dragged out because he wants to talk to he's got just one more thing before we go. Hold on, just give me just another minute.
What would you tell a baby entrepreneur who's sitting out there right now and they're like, ooh, Lauren, you're sparking my inspiration. What would you say?
I would say there is quite literally no better time than right now. If you are really passionate about something, start it. Don't wait. There is never going to be a better time. You're never going to have enough time. You're never going to have enough money. The timing is never going to be perfect. Just start it. And if you're like, well, I don't even know how I would start a dog park, bar, coffee shop. Well, you're in good company. I had quite literally no idea. You will figure it out. You will find the right people. You will read the right book. You will run into the right person eavesdropping on your conversation at the coffee shop and be like, hey, this sounds interesting. Can I talk to you about this? Everything will happen how it's supposed to, but you just have to start. Just take one step toward the thing that you're trying to do.
I mean, drop that mic, girl. Drop that mic. Well, this has been just lovely. I've really enjoyed you, and I've really enjoyed, this dog is the most well-behaved creature.
He's
on
exhausted.
Earth. My God. Well, seriously, thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you for having me. This has been so fun.
I'm so happy that Calendly and the universe connected us. If you're out there listening, this might be your sign to sign up on my Calendly. You can get there by going to my bio and Instagram, clicking on the link, and just setting up a time to talk. We can just figure out what you're doing. Maybe it'll be a pep talk. Maybe it'll lead to something more. Who knows? But I would just say, reach out, right?
Yeah, do it. Carrie is not scary. Well, unless you want to be. Do you want to be like Scary Carrie?
No, I do not. Carrie is not scary, people.
She's a delight. And some would even say such a pep talk extraordinaire.
If you want that kind of energy, hit me up. All right, Lauren, thank you so much. I will definitely be staying in touch. And when that spring weather hits, I'm going to take Mac Daddy that damn dog park, and you're going to have to just kick me out of there.
You and Evan, I will drag you all out of there.
That is right. And if you're still out there following your girl, follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. And until next time, seriously, go to your Google machine, go to Bumble's Backyard, check out what they're doing. It's actually an incredible value add to the community, specifically in Franklinton. Please go support Lauren and Evan. My God, if you're not wanting to meet Evan by now, just go there to meet Evan and keep moving, baby.